the Corki.
Jax can TP both, okay? Jax is TPing.
I'm tanking.
I'm TPing.
Should we look at Syra? Yeah? I'm with you.
Look at Syra.
I'm looking.
Side is dead, no flash.
Yeah, where's Syra? We have TP behind.
I can go Syra, guys. Here, look.
Yeah, I can follow up.
Crap. I'm getting
TPing.
two.
I'm going on the Caitlyn. Look on the Caitlyn, look on the Caitlyn.
I'm alive.
Look Caitlyn.
I'm dead.
Oh, I'm fine. Attack.
Nice.
A couple hours ago, KC was 1 game away from getting to finals and facing off against G2 Esports yet again. And now they're on the verge of getting eliminated. Finn, what happened?
It felt like KC was the stronger team. They came in, they were drafting better, and they were playing better. But the more the series unraveled, it felt like the games turned into this more chaotic mess.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where Fnatic really came into their own. They felt like they were really thriving in this chaos and actually beating KC in the trenches. And I feel like the more KC kind of panicked and they were drafting weird champions, I feel like Fnatic just really found their footing. And we really need to see more from KC coming into this game 5.
I want to follow up on what Jackspektra was saying on cast earlier, saying that usually whoever wins game 4 wins game 5. Do you agree on this statement, or do you believe in the mental fortitude of KC here
I don't
to
believe
take
in
it
that
down?
statement. The stronger team wins game 5, always.
The stronger team wins game 5. I want to see what the fans think here. Les gars, comment ça va? What do you think about this game? What do you think about KC and what they need to do to bring this one back and get to finals?
I think we can clearly win.
So the chants are here, but I want to know what the fans think now. Thank you so much, guys. What do you guys need to do to take this one home?
I don't know, but
You don't know.
time we were... I don't know, I'm not coach, but
All right.
last time we were on 2-2,
Yeah.
like we went in Montpellier like from 2-0 to 2-2.
Yeah.
We do like Yasuo with
Nila.
Sina,
Yeah.
and we win.
Who do you believe in the most? If you had to empower one player here.
I think like Voladi.
Vladi.
Voladi
in the mid lane.
offer you the game, and I think Humanoid will troll it. So we will win.
I don't hear a lot of answers on Fnatic's side to this statement, Sjokz. What do you have to say?
What do I have to say? I got signs. I got a hat. Basically confidence. And I'm sorry, I might look ridiculous with this hat, but it's just all the atmosphere. And Alex, I have to say, I saw Fnatic really, waking up, I want to say. It's a little bit unfair maybe to the first 2 games, but I think the fans agree. And some things like Razork, who didn't have a good day yesterday, who didn't have a good first couple of games, he's awake, man. He's on that Vi. Mikyx is on that Pyke. Don't ever give that man Pyke. And I feel like they've really woken up. And as you say, game 4 winners are game 5 winners, question mark?
I hear there are some Humanoid fans in the crowd as well.
Yes.
The Humor God himself.
Yes.
How are we feeling about him? I love how Fnatic made a play game 4 draft feel like a game 1 draft. It felt so comfortable for them. When you've been around this long, you've seen everything. This is what Fearless is for.
Yes, and it's also awe-inspiring, right? Because it feels like it could be a draft that they just pulled out, as you say in the beginning, meaning that they must have a lot of confidence. Did you feel like they had KC on the ropes from the draft?
Oh, I think they definitely helped, right? I think the gameplay as well mirrored that. They weren't shaken. I think they came in with a lot of confidence. The combos were working. Yeah, the Pyke didn't work well at the early levels, but Mikyx stood there. He managed to stand with the rest of his team and combo up so well later. I'm loving the confidence coming through for Fnatic. And with this and so much momentum, who's to say they can't get the reverse sweep?
Yeah, I'd love to kick it over again with a question to the KC side, because now you have a couple of rookies who have done admirably, fantastically, but you know how it goes. You're 2-0 up, you lose that next one, you start thinking, is it gonna happen? You lose that next one, you think, oh my god, is it gonna happen? And Laure, we know what Mickey said. He asked Yike, have you ever gotten reverse swept?
Foreshadowing here maybe from Mickey, but that's not what we hope. And I believe in Yike's experience. I believe in all the success he had, and I believe in his leadership to take KC and bring this win home. Finn, what do you say?
Sure, you might be a rookie today.
Yeah.
But the champions of tomorrow are crafted today, and I don't think they should fear away from this game 5. I think today they should stand tall and pick what they believe in. I think they should pick what they are comfortable in, and they should pick what they think are gonna win the game for them.
Give them advice outside of the pick, outside of the draft, because Fearless draft game 5, it is gonna be mayhem between these two teams. What are the win conditions for KC? What do they need to do and what do they need to rely on, if not experience?
I want to see Targo on some playmaking. I want to see Caliste with a strong lane, and I want to see Yike with lanes that facilitate him. I want to let Yike play his game, because I think this is the beating heart of the team of KC. And when he is on a strong pick, when he has options, he makes magic happen.
Do you guys agree here? Empower Yike? Strong picks? A united blue wall yet again here in the Berlin studio. So what can Fnatic bring to the table today?
I don't know. We still have a minute to go, I guess. So let me ask some people that are around here. You've got a LEC, give me Ruinous Atakan, my life is yours. I don't think you want Atakan as a Fnatic fan.
Oh, we actually want Ruinous Atakan, Ruinous Atakan, Ruinous Atakan.
I love it. I think the jury is out on the Ruinous Atakan if it's good or not. I did get a sign from a fan that said, I will not do that. Do not worry, I'm not here by myself. But Nymira, talk to me a little bit about kind of the momentum going into this. In an org like Fnatic, they have been in these games all the time. We don't talk about what might happen tomorrow. We only focus on today.
Hey, I'm just saying top esports qualified for first stand. We don't bring up that name often around here, but it incites some demons. Look, Fnatic have so much experience. I think that the champion pools work out so well for them too. And I really think that support champion pool is the thing which I'm focused on. I think Mikyx pulling out that pike shows that confidence, and hopefully they can keep rolling with that.
Hopefully they can indeed when it comes to the individuals and the kind of grinta that they can show at a moment like this. Who would you bet your money on? Be honest.
Momentum means so much. The stats for reverse sweeps, they do really say it all. I think Fnatic have got this right now. Game 5 coming into, I think they look so good. The champion pools are looking better and better.
All right.
Fearless, show no fear.
I'll kick it over one more time to the other side because I did hear that KC picked red. Laure, what is the trump card here?
KC picking red? I see only one option here. Who should get the last pick? 1, 2, 3. Go! I guess it's simple here. Finn, any last words? Any last words for KC? Any words of encouragement with this red side? We want to see Canna get one of his strong picks. What do you want to put him on?
I want him to pick anything that he thinks he can carry the game with. I'd like to see a Jace, anything that he will carry on. But I also want to see a Caliste Raven.
Caliste Raven, Canna last pick. Anything can happen here. It is Fearless Draft 5th game. We haven't seen what they're capable of, but we've seen a lot of things from both of these teams. KC versus Fnatic, one team only can go against G2 tomorrow. Casters, take it away for Game 5.
What a crazy time to be alive. This is not what I thought we would be at the start of the day. I thought one of these teams would be more dominant. It might be a clean sweep or a 3-1, but here we are, 2-2 both sides. Game 5, you heard from the incredible KC fan base, incredible Fnatic fan base. Canna, red R5 counter pick, really bring that full power of a Korean top laner to bear. Hey, that's one option. But honestly, with 8 champions and every roll off the board, I think any option might be what they're looking for.
Well, here's the thing. Throughout playoffs, we have not seen any team pick red side until today. It was Fnatic that started picking red side, and suddenly they started having a great old time on that. And it looks like KC basically swapping now to try and change things up.
I just want to say what a pleasure to be an LEC fan in this year.
Oh, yes.
Like, Fearless, large fan bases clashing off, the rivalries, and it's so close as well. This series is delivering, and I cannot wait to see what they're drafting for this Game 5.
What do they have left? Are you ready for the Game 5? This is where the weirdest stuff that you've cooked up starts to come out. And already. Senna banned. Taking away a lot of bot lane options, right? There's numerous Senna combos. Fnatic don't want to see any of them.
And I think it makes sense, right? You just don't want anything that can throw a wrench into the works. Jungle, though, is also a big one for me because we've seen the Skarner ban. Last game, we got the Nidalee ban. Now we have the Nocturne ban as well. This, to me, says things like the Ahri that can play with, like, Ahri Viego, Ahri Lee Sin, kind of open up that jungle pool quite a bit. Even potential Jarvan could be something.
Blitzcrank ban might unironically be Lulu first pick. I'm not kidding.
Lulu could be the option. Hyperscaling AD carries are still up. We haven't seen a Jinx yet. We haven't seen an Aphelios. We haven't seen a Twitch. I mean, maybe we... the irony would be if Game 5 is just full front to back. I don't really want that, but
might
a lot of the picks are still on the table.
Yeah, I think there's not much engaged supports left, so you might just end up with double enchanter bot lane here.
there's also the option for something. There you go. Yeah.
Lulu first pick. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say there's still options for like an Alistair and F. Now, Alistair obviously doesn't do too well into the Lulu, but you still have those potentials there. But Aurora hovered here.
This Aurora's been banned quite a few games. They even decided to ban it last game over the Zyra. Curious to see like why they feared it so much.
It's one of those picks we've seen in its best games that can find those flanks, that can just delete a key carry. And now with so many of the conventional options taken away, it's just generally a pretty strong laner.
I think the big question now for me is like, I almost feel like we're going to get two very dive heavy versus kite heavy essentially going to split. Because I think if I'm Fnatic, what I'm eyeing up is the Jinx on this next rotation, and maybe something like the Shogun for Oscarinin in that top lane and say, hey, we've got beefy front line, we just want to try and play it out. But that suddenly opens up things like the Camille potentially for Canna, a Galio with this J4. There is so much that you can go for here.
I love this J4. Lulu already says, hey, you're probably going to pair it with an immobile AD carry if you want to go for Jinx, if you want to go for Aphelios, and Jarvan makes that a very hard decision.
Yeah, the problem now is because the series is out, there's not really much picks you can pick here that are mobile into this Jarvan. I would presume that Sivir is the safest blind that they can have, but Volibear.
All right.
They want to fight.
International pick. We've seen it a lot in other regions. Haven't really seen it here in playoffs, but now we finally get to see it. Can be aggressive early, can match a lot of what the Jarvan can do.
Now, what ADC does Upset go for? I really want to see. Does he just say, I don't care about the Jarvan, I'm still going to look in a mobile ADC? Or does he think like he really needs some level of mobility?
Oh, okay.
MF is a strange one.
Yeah.
For me, MF is quite a strange pick here because it's not the greatest with Lulu. It doesn't have the greatest setup, and it's still immobile.
Yeah, it nearly feels like they're just trying to take away from Caliste rather than augmenting their own game plan, which I think would have been a Jinx, have that strong front line and play through it, but very worried about a potential MF ult over the top of the Jarvan ults, and now you get the Jhin on the opposite side, still kind of has that potential follow-up for a J4.
Yeah, when you look at KC, their composition clearly has goals, good tools. The Jarvan can lock people in place. The Jhin has good follow-up. Doesn't need to follow the dive threat the KC are putting together. Whereas on the side of Fnatic, you have Lulu, movement speed steroids, enhancing the auto attacks with the passive. MF's going to use none of that as we get later in the game.
I mean, one thing I do like about the MF, though, is that you have MF and Volibear, who are both incredibly strong in this early game. So, as we've seen, Fnatic do know how to click forward, and with these two champions, they will be able to do so.
I am curious what KC want to try and round out their draft with, though, because we've seen a lot of enchanters don't really go great with Jhin. My option could maybe be something like the Seraphine here, so you're just playing to essentially poke and push, or sorry, follow up on any sort of the Jarvan engages, but Alistair is kind of the only other engage pick that's still up and available, unless something weird like a the Elise comes through.
Yeah, I would like to see an Elise. I think you don't really want to go for something that's too heavy of an enchanter. You either want to go for something that's like a kill lane, like an Elise, or you go for a mage support. But I don't remember the last time I saw a mage support in competitive.
Targamas hasn't had the best track record, right? He won on Renata. Every other range support he's played so far, I believe he has lost on. Gwen actually going to be the takeaway. Not wanting to give another AP solo laner or another champion who can effectively just ignore what the MF does.
And that makes me think they want to draft tanks into this. Oh, the Karma actually. It makes a lot of sense. It's pokes, it's still an enchanter, and it's good with Jhin. Nice pickup here. But the Gwen ban makes me think they want to pick a tank on top here because they're into this Jhin. Wait, no, they're going Camille. Oh my god.
This is... I mean, we've got essentially 1-3-1 side lane setup. We've got excellent teamfight follow-up in the MF and just a lot of early game power. And KC, to a certain degree, are trying to match fire with fire. These early to mid-game skirmishes are going to be incredibly bloody.
But I'm so surprised here they banned the Gwen over the Renekton, when Renekton's typically been the go-to ban that you always need to do when you want to pick this Camille. So now you have a really tough top lane matchup. I'm curious to see how they'll play it, because the bot lane matchup is hard too into the Jhin Karma.
It also just kind of feels like the Lulu sticks out like a sore thumb in this composition, where she can kind of speed up the Volibear, but she isn't great at enabling a lot of the other picks. Sure, you can wall growth people as they jump in, but not really adding a huge amount to the composition. Whereas on KC, I think they've got a more of a easy draft to execute on. You got the Karma that can speed up people. You then just look to dive in the backline as Jhin opens up. It feels like there's more of a cohesive draft on KC's side, whereas maybe Fnatic can struggle a little bit.
There is one piece of cohesion that Fnatic has. Their draft screams fight. I want the fight. So if they do get the fights going, if Volibear can try to alleviate this top matchup and get some ganks going both and top, and even mid lane, like, this Volibear has so many places he can go.
Definitely does. And I think this is a situation where the entire top side of Fnatic has so much agency with these champions. Volibear, the Sylas, the Camille, these are champions who can all start their own plays when they find those good angles. But the bot lane, as you said, if they're not able to win out, if they're not able to get pressured, that's the piece of the draft that won't necessarily fit if they're not able to find really confident team fights.
For me, the hard part, if I'm playing MF this game, I'm playing MF with really no hard CC setup for my ultimate at all. And also, Mikyx is playing with Electrocute. He wants to fight.
Electrocute, press the attack. All right. Spoiler alert, let's get into game 5. You heard Silver Scripts. You know what time it is. You can hear KC fans and Fnatic fans alike. Berlin alive with the sounds of both teams. One shot for both of them. A match against G2 tomorrow. Revenge for Mickey or revenge for Yike. We'll have to see. Only one.
I need to go back to this Lulu. Just Ignite plus Electrocute. This is going to be the most psychopathic Lulu I think I've ever seen. And she's already looking for a cheese on mid.
Yeah, I think for Fnatic, coming back to kind of the point you made about the MF, I think you're kind of hoping Humanoid has access to Yike's ultimate and Vladi's ultimate to try and start off these fights. Yes, Oscarinin also has that lockdown, but I think you're very dependent on what ultimates Humanoid has access to start off these fights. So for Fnatic, yes, they can fight, but it's a case of how and when they should fight is really the questions that are standing up for me.
He has Electrocute and Scorch. Yeah. my man is committed to these first couple levels. That is aggressive. It looks like the flag will spot out Razork.
I do think, though, that Fnatic will want to swap here because this top lane matchup is really difficult level 1, and the bot matchup is quite hard with Karma being so good at getting push. And with the Electrocute, maybe you now actually have enough damage to dive this Renekton, but KC are not prepared for it. Yike is going to be forced out of the jungle.
Yeah, flag at least spots them, so he won't be caught unaware. Start for Razork as he starts to clean that one out. Vladi getting a little bit of poke. And Humanoid might be in trouble. Has to flash. Already used the abscond. So solid early exchange. Yes, Yike put a little bit behind, and that level 1 Jarvan clear not super strong, but it does mean Humanoid losing his flash.
You can see Mickey starting to drift in towards mid lane though, because you want Humanoid to get access to this wave. Little nervous about what might happen here, but at least you'll be able to keep Humanoid safe. And as Canna and Vladi share XP, I think that also gives Mickey the opportunity to drift down to keep Oscarinin safe on any sort of potential dive as well. But Yike starting to open mid, and now Razork
coming in from behind. Level 2 now available for Canna and Vladi. Autos from Razork. Yike coming in as well. Razork, did he take Q? Razork can't do anything, he just gets killed!
But this is a level 2 Renekton. What is Fnatic thinking here? They're getting way too greedy, trying to go for too much, and Razork is just one-shot.
What did he even skill? He started E level 1. What was his level 2 option? Upset, getting some good damage down to Canna, but Canna has a red buff now.
Yeah, the problem was that Razork was level 2, Humanoid was level 1, Mickey was level 1, and both Vladi and Canna just hit 2, so there was just no way they were ever going to win out the fight because Yike also had shown up on the mid wave. So just very greedy, as Jack was saying, and just an overstep from Fnatic.
To be fair, last game, they also swapped. And it looked terrible. So
gives them false
maybe
hope.
This is all part of the formula.
Okay, that's a little bit too much copium for me in Game 5, I think. This is a disadvantageous situation. I don't think we need to we don't need to cope too hard. But yes, you're right. Maybe history repeats itself here as Mickey starts to get aggressive. That's the Electrocute proc. You do not want to meet this Lulu in a dark alley. She's going to beat the heck out of you.
I thought you would say solo queue, but...
Yeah, also that. Whether on your team or against
the dark alley.
Yeah, it is the dark alley. The darkest alley, really. Humanoid gets a good abscond. Has the additional sustain. Oh, Vladi taking a lot of damage, but now the extended play is where Aurora can start to take flash. Whoa, flash doesn't need it. Vladi finishing the kill. That sucks for Humanoid.
Oh, Vladi, man. What a joy to watch. This guy has just looked so phenomenal. Day after day, I feel like he's getting better and better. And I feel like finally, we have a mid laner that might be able to beat Caps.
A tall task to be certain, at least for right now. He's beating Humanoid in the 1v1. Losing the flash certainly did not help him. But Vladi has a pot. He has 2 pots. He does not pop a pot in this exchange. Stone cold.
I think Humanoid just thought, look, Vladi doesn't have an awful lot of mana left. Maybe I can look for the all-in and get the heal, but the auto's doing work, and it was oh no.
Trying to find the angle. But again, that is a Renekton with red buff.
He's going to be out. Renekton's only 4 CS. but it's actually up in gold just due to the first blood kill. But the wave here is very bad for Oscar.
But the problem is, how do you try and fix this now as Fnatic? Because you try and run into mid lane as Razork, you get slowed, there's nothing really to follow up on, and you just kind of have to walk away. You go into the bot lane, Canna slices and dices his way out. This is where the Volibear does struggle if you don't have that setup to try and make it happen. And I don't think Oscarinin really wants to jump in on towards Canna right now with the way the matchup is tending.
No, the 0-1 Volibear is a very bad feeling, right? Similar to Jarvan, it can be very feast or famine. The difference is the Jarvan just offers so much more utility. Level 6 is rapidly approaching. Level 5 for Vladi, slight XP lead over Humanoid. So for now, we're finally getting that 2v2 matchup. Fnatic at least avoided the first 2 levels, that initial push, but Targamas is still very tough to lane against.
The problem is they have a pretty decent XP lead on the Jhin here, and they will be able to just keep getting this push.
Stun onto Oscar, good use of the adaptive defenses. But now Pings going into the jungle, trying to get a bit more control on the top side of the map as Yike might fish for an angle.
They're trying to see if he can get in onto this top side, but for not really finding much of an opportunity. For KC though, if they can manage to take down Fnatic here, it has still been their best finish of all time. But if they can manage to push themselves forward to the finals, what a turnaround it can be. You can see the finishes there on your screen. It has not been the best of times in 2024 for KC, but it steadily improved and got better over the course of the splits. And now the first split of 2025 could be absolutely wondrous for them, but it's Fnatic that seem to just constantly find ways to hold on against every team they faced off against the playoffs.
And it's been so exciting to see KC's growth. You saw Summer last year, the addition of Vladi, it looked like a completely new team. And now, with Caliste coming in, they've just leveled up even more. And for me, even if they lose today, I'm so excited to see how they'll do throughout the year, because I feel like this team has so much potential for further growth.
Definitely an impressive showing thus far this season, this year. Vladi, really the pleasant surprise, right? Caliste felt like an inevitability. We were all just waiting to see when he would arrive to the league. Vladi, another big standout though, and already doing well on the Aurora in that mid lane matchup. Has level 6, maybe can start to look to make a few more plays on the side lane as Yike and Targamas at least getting some control of the vision here.
On the opposite side, though, I think the biggest shout-out has been Oscarinin for Fnatic, right? This guy, a lot of people were saying was the weak point, the weak part of the chain for this team. But he has really held them close as they get in towards playoffs. And now Upset looking to just push Yike out, but he really has stepped up massively. Whether it's the Mbessa, whether it's the Poppy or the Cassante, he's been great now. Humanoid going up against Canna.
Doing okay. Alt traded for alt here. Humanoid, not a lot of ability haste, so really needs to be careful. Over-aggressive on that play. Cooldown just not low enough on the Kingslayer for him to heal back up.
The past repeats itself. He loses flash against this Renekton. Humanoid is having a really tough game so far. And this Aurora is doing so much damage.
I mean, Vladi's sitting pretty. They swap lane assignments here. Camille also doesn't want to, no one wants to really play against this Aurora at this stage of the game. And Vladi not even going to opt for boots, just trying to finish that first item as quickly as he can.
You can see the gold lead on mid is just growing and growing. 1k already now. And they can move mid here into top and look for a dive onto Oscarinin.
Oscarinin gets a decent chunk, but Yike is the big threat here. Ulti, the flash. Ulti's still there for Oscarinin, but knew that it wouldn't really save him in that context.
Oscar's losing a lot of farm here, being zoned out. He's actually able to re-enter finally, but loses the full cannon wave. While on the other side, Renekton will lose a few minions. Oh, we'll actually opt to go all the way mid, and they'll look to swap back here and put the Renekton into the Camille.
Fnatic could grab some plates. Oscar, if he can stop it back here, it would be big. He can't see. He can't see in the bush.
He doesn't know, right? But he's faking that he's going to eat the bush to try to make him cancel his base.
Humanoid gets on top of Vladi. Can he find the solo kill? Goes in. Good damage. Conqueror proc, but Vladi just not afraid.
Close, close. It's nice to still see, though, that Humanoid still has some fire left in him, and he keeps trying to go for these plays despite being 1,000 gold down.
Yeah, but the Lion still has some fire left. I thought we'd be saying that about Vladi, right? He's supposed to be the rookie in the Game 5, super stressful, fearless situation. He's on face, 1-0-1, Hextech Revolver finished, styling on Humanoid in a lot of these circumstances. This is a guy who he just does not care.
And what a poetic way to start off a potential move on to his first finals in the LEC. For the longest time, it was Humanoid that people talked about as that potential upset in towards Caps, someone who could finally match what Caps has brought to the league. And now that same conversation is starting to happen for Vladi, and taking down Humanoid feels like that passing of the torch potentially here for the KC side. But you do have to try and hold on to this lead and push it forward.
Definitely do. First time completion, Mikyx forced to flash away.
This Renekton is forcing flashes left and right.
Crocodiles are scary, man.
Look. It's not, 2016, 2017 anymore. The R5 Renekton is truly scary now.
I grew up in the LPL. It's B1 Renekton is scary there.
It's commitment.
But this was a bit of a disrespect to give this
Vladi on the way in. Upset caught. Massive damage, instant ulti. Vladi can take his time. Won't quite make it to the edge, though. That slow actually super crucial from Mikyx.
Humanoid?
Teleport unleashed. Humanoid off to the side. Can steal away the Jarvan ultimate and look to lock somebody up. It looks like the target might be Vladi, but they're backing away instead. Razork also flashing.
And now it's Jhin being...
Oh, Targamas. Forced to flash.
But the problem is if you look at...
Razork chasing. Ulti. They are going to kill Targamas. There's certainly no way out of that one. But they committed a lot to this fight. Now Caliste can just open up with the ultimate. It's Mikyx in trouble. They know that he's flashes from the previous fight. Meanwhile, the bot lane is a 1v1, but Razork is already dead. And Casey again finding the angle. We're 10 minutes in, and they're 2.5k.
And it's a tale as all this time. Fnatic keep wanting more and more. But during all of this, Jhin was silently hitting mid, denying CS. And if you look at the gold lead in mid lane, it's just growing. 1.1k now with a 20 CS lead on this Aurora.
And you called it. It's miscommunication on the Fnatic side. Upset had gone back to the wave, didn't think he was needed. They overcommit then, trying to get Targamas, and the turnaround comes from KC. And it's the big thing about Jhin is how effectively he can follow on any sort of play in river thanks to that ultimate. And now Fnatic find themselves a little bit further behind. We'll catch it on the replay here. It's the engage on towards Targamas, and I was going to point out this is where it does get tough for Fnatic to try and find those plays, but Targamas just goes that bit too far, so they can actually get the engage they want. But it's the turnaround after with Caliste, who's already set up a mid. But look where Upset is. He's gone back to try and collect that wave. Now he has to try and move down, so he loses more of the wave. So it's not only the fact that you're losing in the fight, it's losing on the map state as well.
Yeah, there's just this want for more that Fnatic keeps showing that's been both their biggest strength and their biggest weakness.
Yeah, sometimes that aggression has netted them so many advantages, but I mean, it's been back and forth today, right? There have been good moments, there have been bad moments, but certainly there's always been that aggression, and it's going to get hard, right? Jhin, who's snowballed like this, who has a goalie like this, who can just sit back and snipe so many of these squishy members. The bottom side of the map, Oscar maybe can be the one to make the difference. Isolate, pick off people like Camille, or like Caliste, excuse me, like Vladi.
And I think the first time we really saw people talking about Oscarinin was at those internationals where suddenly he takes the Camille, pops off against some of the LPL top laners, and everyone kind of goes, hang on a second, where has this Oscarinin been? So it's not like it's been the first time that he's had to take this Camille and try and carry across the finish line, but it is looking more and more difficult.
Wild Growth manages not to sidestep the route. Quick ulti and flash out from Yike. Mikyx already taken down. I mean, it's a good call out, but right now, Fnatic just grasping at straws. Ulti used to clear the mid-wave. Razork in trouble here. Volibear, the early game terror, already feeling like he just does nothing. Curtains called upon him. 2-0-2 for Caliste. Feats already in favor of KC.
And K-Corp are dominating, punishing Fnatic wherever they strike. First onto Mikyx, then onto Razork. Now they're onto Humanoid. They're going to be punishing and poking him down, but we got to fight on bot lane.
And Oscarinin just, I think, desperate to get something back, wants to extend his lead, but Canna's still powerful, forcing him away.
6 scrubs as well for K-Corp, which just means that when both of these sides are losing, getting pushed in, it makes it even worse.
Caliste and KC sitting pretty. I mean, guys, at 13 minutes, it's a 4k gold lead.
Yeah.
And it's not a fake 4k gold lead where it's like on a support. It's 1.2, 1.1 for mid and bot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want the narratives to click perfectly into place. I like it when people mix things up, but come on, it's like the two rookies, Vladi and Caliste, and they're just popping off.
It's true. For me, the sad part of it about this game is that, as we talked about Oscarinin, I feel like he's been left to dry, but it's not really his fault. The Renekton got an early kill and was able to pick up the call because of it as well. And now, due to those factors and the fact that he got 6 grubs, he's just able to extend this lead. When normally, if you play the matchup well as Camille, as he has done, you would be equal with the Renekton right now and winning on the Triforce spike. But he's now down 1.3k gold because of this call, because of this early kill, and these 6 grabs.
Now Renekton backs with the coal popped. Right as the plate gold comes up, you can see 10 times the plate gold going in favor of KC.
Yeah, that's rough.
And as we bring this down, we will see Renekton's items. And I imagine, yeah, that's a fast Black Cleaver on top of improved boots too. Or at least the partial upgrade, excuse me.
And the thing is, if you're constantly losing everywhere else in the map, Oscarinin just never really gets a chance to be dominant in the side lane, no matter how good the scaling is, because he's always going to be playing on the defensive footing. So for Fnatic, they need to find some success elsewhere, and it looks like Oscarin's trying to help that by moving here.
Oscarinin moving in, manages to find Targamas, wants to flash extend onto Caliste, but Caliste for Spec flashes out. Now it's going to be Oscarinin who's in trouble. Yike going in, locks up Oscarinin. Oscarinin now managing to ulti back, but it just doesn't matter. Caliste on a killing spree. KC, again, just dismantling Fnatic.
Fnatic are desperate. They're trying everything to just get some gold into carries, but KC, they're always there. They're reading them and making sure that they just can't do anything in this game.
And they're mechanically playing so well as well. Caliste flashing the hook shot there, not giving Oscarinin any chance for any sort of play. And yeah, as you said, it's desperation for Fnatic. They need to find some sort of miracle plays because they don't even have real cross-map availabilities because they have 0 grubs against 6.
0 against 6. They're trying to force topside. Canna already knocked the tower down, moving on to the next wave. Vladi going to clear here. There's no play. There's no angle.
And 30 seconds until the Rift Herald as well, so you just get to reset here as KC. You've already forced people off. Oscarinin has to collect the tier 2, so you just move Canna into position on mid-wave and you're able to get the Rift Herald without any sort of pressure elsewhere. So KC, they're just constantly keeping the map in a favorable position. Humanoid is looking at Vladi, saying, can I have it? Can I get to the tower?
And I mean, it's so tough for Upset too, right? He has Bloodthirster, so he should be able to take short trades with Caliste, but Renekton is always instantly in the fog of war. Suddenly he can't step up and do anything, and that's Collector, BF Sword, Swifties.
And the thing is, it's not just the Renekton, it's also the Jarvan. When you're playing in a mobile ADC, right now he has no flash. If he decides to contest any mid-wave and Jarvan's around, he's just dead.
Yeah, Fnatic are absolutely playing the game on hard mode. And they maybe didn't have to, but with how things have gone in the early game, the amount of options
they had their identity and they stuck to it.
That they did, Mr. Spectra, that they did. All right, now KC going to pick up most likely yet another objective. Good news for Fnatic is at least they've slowed the soul stacking by taking away an early dragon. Do get some poke onto Caliste, but if Fnatic try to force a fight here again, it feels like it might be the last Hail Mary, zoning them away, trying to get Yike out, forcing a fast play. But Vladi's level 11.
Yeah.
3K. Does Yike want to go in? I think they can just concede this. They can just be happy with double TPs.
They need to base really fast here to not give Canna any of this bot lane tower because he takes it so damn fast with the 6 grubs.
But if you reset to protect Canna shifts to mid and you lose the mid lane tower, right? So this is where it just becomes an impossible feat for Fnatic. You can see Canna now moving. Should be able to force Upset and Mikyx off this, and now you get that mid lane structure.
No, they want to keep him on it.
No flash.
They want to keep him on, take him out. Upset gets wild growth. I don't think it's going to be enough though. The instant flash from Canna. He's going to be able to go in as well. Razork forced to ult away. Humanoid will at least get 1 tower back, but again, KC holding on to and growing that gold lead even more as tier 2 is in their sights.
It's a disaster. Fnatic just can't keep pacing the map, and you can look at every single fight as it's happening the exact same way. Razork slowed, can't get into fights. Targamas speeding people away from Fnatic as they're desperate to chase them down. And Yike's just like, cool, I'll flag and drag in, I'll flag and drag out. We kill a Fnatic member. It's just, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, and it's really good macro here by KC, as you said, moving Canna into mid. Aurora also chooses to drop the top tower to be in this fight and just make sure that they can actually get this mid tower. And you see the power of 6 grubs. It allows you to just take all these towers so damn fast.
And I think that's been the most impressive part of KC to me, is that this is eventually a team of rookies, but their macro has been insane. Their objective setup is great. The foundation is here for a phenomenal team.
There, connects to Mikyx. Razork finds the initial stun. Upset trying his own, has held on to ulti. Rank 2 as well. Humanoid stealing away 1 ultimate, but already 1 member falls. Razork taken out of the equation. Fnatic careful as they run back into the choke. KC happy to just walk in, take the dragon for themselves.
And Fnatic are just too far behind. They can't compete. Razork just gets completely...
Going in on Caliste, instant ulti, trying to punish Caliste, getting chunked out. That's the shutdown. Now the follow-up, wild growth coming in. Yike has he overcommitted, a bit of extra healing, but finally Vladi joins the fray. 1 taken down. Upset now running. Shutdown is big, but it's going to cost them a lot to get it. Upset knows he's done. Mikyx running for the hills. Yike wants a little bit more. Flash forward from Vladi. Not going to connect. His Upset will eventually fall, but they're taking their time. KC potentially overeager because now Oscarinin can just keep it going. Trying to wait out the ultimate. Vladi has no mana left. Shutdown is big. Oscarinin going to follow up. Good sidestep from Vladi. KC still 6k gold ahead, but that was completely unnecessary.
That was a ton of shutdowns for Fnatic here. I don't want to say that they're quite back just yet, but if they get a few more fights like this going, their comp, I mean, this Camille this game can be quite the menace.
KC just didn't really tick off the boxes there. You can see, again, decent fight here where Razork just doesn't really get to do too much. They're able to push them back. Fnatic are very spread, and KC are able to immediately jump onto that back line. And Fnatic have to run for the hills. But as they come out of this, they think that they can easily kill off Humanoid. So it's a good pick. Shutdown goes across onto Caliste. But then KC starts to this front and back with Vladi coming in. And they think, okay, we can finish off Humanoid. Now we get the slow onto Upset. So Yike ends up trying to get funky with it, where he goes for the flag and drag to get Mikyx as well. Vladi flashes thinking he can get on towards Mikyx. But then this buys time for Upset to get the damage on Targamas. Mikyx walks forward to give him the shield as well. And now Oscarinin has come into the fight as well. So KC, trying to get greedy themselves, actually end up getting punished.
Fnatic earned the first shutdown. KC gave them the other kills, right? And that's the difficulty, is that KC, if they clean up their play, those opportunities don't exist as much for Fnatic. But KC still have to be diligent, still have to be disciplined. Objective in their sights. Vladi has ultimate, Caliste as well, but no flash. And you can see, I mean, he just cannot play the game. 2 items. Completed. Razork throws down the Herald. It's like some sort of desperate Pokemon battle on the top side of the map. Canna fishing for the flash. May have to give his life here. Wild growth there as well, but he is able to just dash out. He has 2 items. He has Sterix already.
It does pull KC off of the Atacon though, which really wasn't what they wanted to do. You can get the Rip Carrot actually make it to top side, but for KC, they would have liked to have completed the objective, but a little bit of a mistake from Canna now. They will just kill the Rift Child as it goes through, but I don't think they can go back onto the objective very quickly.
I mean, now the problem is though that Canna was able to push in mid, and Oscarinin is resetting for this bot wave. I think they'll have a really hard time re-entering here, and I just don't think they'd have the damage to kill Canna right now.
They also don't have great tools for face checking at this point. Another control ward going to be dropped, another ward. Won't result in much, and Canna.
Oh, Upset's caught.
Finding Upset in the 1v1. Upset, does he even want to flash here? Yes is the answer, but it just was not the right call. Now, Oscarinin going in just into the waiting arms of 5 members of KC. Goes in onto Caliste, does nothing. Desperation again from Fnatic, just hoping, praying for that mistake or the misplay.
And it's a complete disaster for Fnatic here.
Humanoid tries to push in a side lane, but just Canna's on the chase. He's got Black Cleaver movement speed. He should just be able to walk him down, but realizes that Humanoid is still pretty strong.
I don't know about this one. I'm pretty sure Canna wins. Maybe not.
He doesn't have ulti. Fury is big. Otacon's still being taken though, so if Humanoid wants to win the 1v1, he has a very brief window of time. It will fall. KC fans, full of energy, full of joy, and rightfully so. 7k gold lead, 22 minutes in.
Fnatic need a miracle.
You can see the coaching staff not looking too happy in the bottom of your screen either. They think they know.
That's the pressure.
Yeah. That this game is not exactly the way they would have liked it to play out. From this position now, KC, like, how do you try and answer back? They just push in mid, they set up vision bot side, they play for bot side turrets, fall back for Dragon in a minute. Like, it's so easy.
Guys, we're running out of straws to grasp back here. We're running out of silver linings for the Cloud. They have the Otacon buff. Jhin almost has 3 items. I mean, Vladi's probably just going to go Death Cap, doesn't even care about magic penetration at all.
Okay, so how does Fnatic win? They need, I think, Humanoid to have Jarvan, and they need to first blow the flashes of Caliste and Vladi and Targamas. Right now, Targamas and Vladi are about to get their flashes up. So it needs to be 2 turns, right? First you blow the flashes, and then you get a fight a minute later with the Sylas Jarvan ult into the MF ult. I think that's the only way. Or Razork makes a play on Oscarinin side and they're able to get the Renekton shut down, but I just don't think they have the damage.
I was going to say, I 100% agree with you, but it feels impossible to get access to Caliste, to get access to Vladi when they're just going to play this front to back style. And even on the top side now, you've got this kerfuffle going on as KC take that bot lane tower.
I'm going to be honest, that just sounded very complicated, Mr. Spectra. I just don't think that
when you're behind, you need a complicated game plan to get back. If it was that simple, just kill enemy, everybody would do it.
But why didn't you just say that was all they needed to do?
Just kill enemy. I got you now. It's just very hard. All right, KC keeping the siege up. We're close to Baron. Maybe the 50-50 steal will buy Fnatic some more time to just scale in this game. 2 items for Humanoid isn't too bad. 2 items for Upset. This is the Jarvan ult you talked about. They've locked down 1 target, locked him up under tower as well, and they're almost going to finish the kill. They will get Yike flashes back in, but it's still just the withdrawal coming in.
Vladi.
And now Vladi ready to pop off, getting a decent amount of damage down on the first rotation of spells. Now going in, curtain call out. Humanoid likely to fall. Mikyx has the body block, but it doesn't matter. They just line up for Vladi.
Is this just it? Fnatic, do they go out with a whimper? Have KC just knocked themselves into the first finals ever for this organization in the LEC?
Seems damn likely. No ulti for Upset. KC, what could be the final push of this series, 2-0. Fnatic managed to crawl their way back, but in Game 5, KC have just been 1 step ahead every minute of the game. Razork still standing, holding on to a little bit longer. 1 last tower in their sights with him down. Vladi dominating. Upset doing what he can to survive. Mikyx alive. KC, do they want to fully commit to this? Upset cleansing. Yike going in, trying to finish the kill. Yike maybe giving away too much, but the Nexus is exposed. Caliste, plenty of bullets left in the gun. KC look likely to end it, but Fnatic are on the way in. The Aurora ult stolen away. He got polymorphed. This is what's to end it. KC, they're going to finals!
The Karmine Corp with a rookie mid laner and a rookie ADC will be the team that challenges G2 for the title.
They felt like the only team that even came close to challenging G2 in our playoffs. And now they will have another chance at redemption. KC moving to the finals is such an insane story for this roster.
I mean, just incredible mental fortitude to go through a series that was so agonizing, that was so bloody, where there were so many situations where they might have been able to close out in previous games and bring it home. Of course, you know, just across the board, incredible performances from so many individuals in this moment. Bow to the crowd, to the blue wall. A well-fought victory. You can, of course, vote for your key player of the series, Canna, Yike, or Vladi.
Vladi.
Not biased.
Vladi versus Caps.
Vladi versus
It's so sick. It's so sick. And look, I think Vladi has now earned so many people's respect. You can see him there on your screen alongside Canna and Yike, who you can vote for the player of the series. But this was spectacular stuff. But commiserations to Fnatic. Unfortunately, playoffs has just not been friendly to them. But they will get a friendly clap as they leave the arena.
Hard fought.
I'm still very excited for this Fnatic roster as well throughout this year. I feel like they showed glimpses of brilliance at the start of the year, and I feel like they have so much more to show with this roster. And I hope that we can have an even more competitive spring split.
A lot more best of 3s as well. It's going to be thrilling to watch. But Yike has made it. A tall challenge ahead of him tomorrow. There was already so much pressure today. It's going to be even greater.
Revenge.
Potential for KC redemption. That first series did not go the way that they wanted it to go. We heard it in just about every interview you could get your hands on. Another chance to fight back. The momentum now in their favor.
That series was the worst I've ever seen Caliste play. And today, he stepped up and played a lot better. And Vladi as well, I feel like stepped up and played amazingly. I think if they show some of that form today, they can do a lot.
Well, enough from us. Let's send it down to Sjokz, who's standing by with the victorious Caliste.
Definitely so, with Caliste here in the Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in after a 5-game slugfest. And Caliste, in your very first split in the LEC, after all the pressure that was put on your shoulders, you make it to the grand final immediately. What does it mean to you to have that huge achievement straight off the bat?
Well, if I didn't went to final on my first split, I think I would be like really ashamed. I'm like at least going to final. For sure, the goal is to win the split and go to Korea. Well, I'm pretty happy. It was a banger series. Fnatic played pretty good, and yeah, tomorrow is the finals. I'm pretty excited.
I'm happy you are excited. We were super excited to see you there. We'll talk about the finals in a minute. I do want to talk about the series also as well. A lot of people say the team that wins Game 4, especially when it comes to reverse sweep territory, will win Game 5. You know, it's a lot of stress. So I'd love to know how you lived that and how you found kind of the courage and the motivation to get this over the line with the team in such a difficult situation.
I mean, when it comes to Game 5, it's just like 1-1, it's whatever. Both teams are equal, even though they won 2 times in a row and we lost 2 times in a row. Like, it doesn't mean they have mental edge or anything. It's just in the head of people. So we were really confident going into the game 5, as usual. And yeah, we were just KC this time. We played aggressive. We were not scared of just going into them and fighting. And I'm pretty happy with how we played today. But there is still a lot of things that we can fix for tomorrow. And I'm really excited for the final again.
Yeah, I can see it. And I love that you're so excited for it. We, of course, know what happened last week specifically. And I want to talk about kind of how open you were with the fans also, about how you were feeling about your own performance and what you were working towards. I'd love to know what kind of a help you have within the voices in your team to make sure that you're in the right headspace. And what are the things that you learned about yourself that will be so important for tomorrow?
Well, first, we are really like a group of friends together, so it's really easy to discuss with anyone. And like just after the BO, I was like, well, it's the worst. I've never played this worst in my career, and it's fine. And just we've tried to find a way for me to bounce back. Like first me individually, and then with the team, with discussion and talks about draft or anything, and just reviewing. How do I get better for? Like in few days for this final, for the semi-final and the finals.
I see. The work is showing this is a difficult situation to be in with Fearless Draft specifically. How much confidence does it give you that? Let me first ask, how comfortable were you going into a full 5 games in Fearless, not just in your position, right? But in terms of the flexibility that you felt you could still have in the team?
Well, first myself, I'm really happy with the Fearless Draft because I will rarely be out of champion pool. I have a lot of cards that I didn't show yet, and well, we keep them for the final, so now we will be able to show them. And well, as a team, we are working hard in scrims since already a few weeks to game 5. We are preparing for game 5 to always have picks and to always have a good draft. Well, maybe we did some weird things against G2, but this time we are way more prepared. Like we have way more preparation, and we also know what G2 wants to do. So, like, I think it will be a banger series.
How do you avoid that something like last week happens again, right? Because I get it. You know, you had the Cho'Gath situation, the Anivia situation, right? Is it fight fire with fire? Make sure that you have the same cards now?
I mean, we can fight fire with fire, yeah, and just don't fall into the traps because now we know most of the traps they use, and like, we are also not the same team, kinda. I think we mega choked against G2. We were not ourselves, gameplay-wise. And then in draft, I think we are just not playing what we wanted to play truly.
Okay, 2 more short questions. First, a message to G2 tomorrow. The work has been done. You have defeated the opponents that you were supposed to. But what do they have to expect from Caliste and KC tomorrow?
I mean, we are not the same team as last time. It's only been a few days that we didn't play against them, I guess. But now we know them way more. We are not the same team anymore. And they should expect a really hungry KC that will just make everything to win the finals. And then individually, I'm not going to show the same performance. Like, it's not acceptable. So good luck to G2 bot lane.
I love it. Finally, Vladi is waiting on the other side in PGL as well, and I think you have gotten a lot of the praise, rightfully so, this split. But do you have a couple of words for your mid laner who is just blossoming and really owned the series?
I mean, it's really cool. I'm really happy to be able to play with Vladi because we are both really aggressive players, and it's always the same. Like, when he plays aggressive, like, they need to punish him, and it's the same. If I play aggressive, they need to punish me. So we will always be the two main threats, and it's really hard for an enemy team to play against us. And yeah, he's just a really good player. I think he's showing up that he can be the best mid laner in the league. Now we just have to make sure we are in good conditions, and we are not choking to get the finals trophy against G2.
I love it. It's really exciting. I hope you get a good night's sleep, that you can look back on a wonderful series with the cheers of the fans. Merci beaucoup. Bonne chance demain. Thank you. And in PGL, we will be talking to the master himself, Vladi and Reha, with Laure.